Hello, my friends. Welcome to another episode of Heart and Hustle, Visionary Healers, Movers, and Shakers. I am your Tribal Hostess, Paulette Rees-Denis, and it is my delight and pleasure to bring you these episodes of magical movers, inspired shakers, healers, artists, incredible people from around the globe to share with you, to inspire you, to be inspired by, with, to help complete our circle of magic and power and beauty as we create and continue to expand throughout the world, bringing even more joy and pleasure and magic and creativity and abundance. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of this growing circle. With so much gratitude for you. Blessings, my friends. So hello, friends. Welcome to Heart and Hustle, Visionary Healers, Movers, and Shakers. I am your Tribal Hostess, Paulette Rees-Denis, and I am here with another episode of this fabulous video podcast with amazing guest today, Brenda Bryan. I'm so happy, Brenda.
Hey, welcome. We're so glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, love it. I love it. And like I said, I am Paulette Rees-Denis. I am your Tribal Hostess, your movement motivator, and your passion instigator. And I love bringing you women who are making change in the world. And I've known Brenda now for, 5 years, I think, right?
Yeah, probably at least.
Yeah. And she is a really incredible speaker, motivational speaker, just a spiritual priestess, a drummer, a transformational coach. And she can even tell you more about that. But I'm really happy to have her here. And I'll just give you a little secret that this is the second time we've done this because I lost the first one. Somewhere the computer ate my interview. So we just figured it's going to be a better interview this time. Because there was something that we didn't say last time that's meant to be said. Right, Brenda?
That's right. Absolutely. What on the first round, we'll get on the second round.
Yeah. So that's never happened to me before. It will never happen again. But here we are. So Brenda.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's talk.
Yeah.
Let's tell everybody. You do several things, and I love that you combine them. And so tell us a little bit about what your passion and specialties are.
Well, it's been such a journey to try to kind of come to that place where I'm really working my own voice. So I've transferred from calling myself a transformational coach to calling myself a diviner of human potential.
I love that.
And I think the reason for that is because it kind of syncs more with I pluck at your heartstrings till you hear your own song. I believe that, there's just not enough love going around. And I certainly believe that women are not the recipients of enough love. So in all the work that I've done over the years, a huge component is to really nurture people into believing in themselves and finding their own voice. And so in doing that, I put together a program called Raise Your Voice, really focused on, finding that tiny voice inside of us that we overcrowd with the chaos of the day and over busy and perfectionism and not enough isms, to come to that place in us where there's this voice that's so tiny that we have to be quiet to hear it. Mm. And that contained in that voice is one of the biggest parts of ourselves that needs to come out. And we're on this journey all the time, right? Because our sense of self change, we get new experiences, we have new endeavors that we take on, and we learn and we learn and we learn. And through each one of those, I think there's a rising up of a new part of ourselves that needs to be heard. And yeah, so I think that there's always a part of us that's being born anew. Mm. And in that being born anew, it's a voice that sometimes gets lost in the chaos of the day or the noise and the crowding out of other things that we have to do. And I like to find that place where we kind of help people start to listen to what's next and What's the dream that you really are aching to have happen, but you haven't actually expressed it yet? You haven't come to it yet. You haven't owned it yet. And so raising your voice is really about like really listening to all of the aspects of ourselves. You know, it's really conscious communications, emotional intelligence, intuition, the divine feminine working through us, talking to spirit. So it combines all these elements in order for us to start showing up more in power to who we really are, and more in service to who we really are. Because I think that that's a really big piece that I'm watching in the social change and the economic changes that's for us, is that we've got to step up, and we've got to take that voice or that aspect of ourselves that needs to be empowered and start finding a place to express it.
Nice. So, I mean, I've seen you on stage many times, and you're such a great speaker. How did you get started wanting to be on the speaker circuit?
You know, I'm a sit back and watch a room for a long time type of gal. You know, so I wait for the entrance point. And so what I've discovered over the years is that when I choose to speak, people choose to listen. And in coming to this journey, I had a big spiritual awakening after 2 major surgeries, and really being concerned about, well, what was I going to do next? So Spirit took me on this 7-day lucid dream while I was at Himbalche Vision Quest Camp. And for 7 days, it showed me all the things I was powerful at and all the places I was giving away my power. And at the end of the 7th day, when the ceremonial fire was at its low embers, 4:00 in the morning, I'm woke up by this voice saying, surrender, sell everything, go solo. Okay.
Whoa.
And it's happened before that I've been giving messages, and I follow the messages, because when they get that loud and that insistent, you're going to go, yeah, I've been in my way long enough now, so thank you for the guidance, and how do I go forward? So when I came to Portland and really didn't have a huge game plan, I had a spiritual community here. And I had took a course with the Institute of Integrative Nutrition, and that really helped me reboot all my skill set as a transformational coach, because that's my background. I've got years and years in the personal growth movement, but I really wasn't sure how I was going to manifest whatever the next layer of this journey was. So my only prayer was, Creator, could you please light up the path before me? And let me have the wisdom to see the lights as you turn them on.
Nice.
Something shining in my face. I was Creator talking to me, and I forgot to listen. So it's been an interesting journey of just really working to come to a place of what way can I be of highest service. And trying on all kinds of things. And, one of the things that came out of one of the programs I was working with is I really wanted to do something around wild women and magic. That I really wanted to know my wild self, and I really want to live in magic because I believe in it and I trust it, and I love creativity, and I love all the arts and all the healing arts and the creative arts and dance and music. And it's like, why am I not engaged in this? Because I was really on the kind of the round peg trying to fit in a square hole concept that I seemed to fall into. So I just kept opening up to what would that look like. And so out of that inquiry came my program, Raise Your Voice. And then out of that inquiry came was like, something's still off. Something's still not working. I'm still not really being able to be of service at the level that I feel needs to happen. And so what skill set am I not using? Guess what showed up? I wasn't using all my speaking experiences. So from that, after kind of really testing the waters on a variety of levels with my Raise Your Voice, what out of a conversation with a dear friend of mine, Cole Reed, who owns Greenhouse and Open House Coworker Space. We were talking about the kind of what's going on in the city of Portland and the need for healing to happen around some of the history and all that. So one day a download came through, and basically what I was told is I need to do It Must Be Said Productions, and what I need to do is create a stage and a platform for conscious change, coming out of telling our stories, reworking the history of the story so that it leads us towards the healing and the future vision that we really need to be living in. And how can I help to facilitate that? So that became this thing. And then out of that came, I need to put together a speakers club. So I put together the Be Bold, Be Brave, Be Powerful Speakers Club for women. Mm-hmm. And because I really believe that women need a safe and sacred place to really tap into what's the truth of their voice. What's the story they haven't felt safe enough or able to tell that would be part of the healing process, that would serve them to stand up and be visible in a community to serve their tribe. Because in going out to all these networking things, which is how you and I know each other, right? We're we're out there in the networking world,
right?
And noticing how many women are afraid to use their voice and say, well, I don't know what to say, and I'm really not a good speaker, and I'm really nervous. And nervous, of course, is consistent with all speakers. It doesn't matter how professional you are, how many times you've been on stage. We're all going to get nervous. If we're doing our job, we're going to get some nerves. And me, I channel those nerves into crazy, wild things that I get to say.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah, so that's what I've learned. I've learned to take those feelings and channel them into my voice and into.
Wow, that's so incredibly profound. And so It Must Be Said Productions, is that your production company?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I love the words that you're using and how you're describing this and what people need, whether they want to be a professional speaker or just share something that's been wanting to come out of them, right?
Yes.
Or, I mean, is it for anyone, or is it for, do you have tiers, or?
I've been focused on women entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I'm focusing there is because if we're going to succeed at business, if we're going to change our economy, if we're going to change the culture in which we live, if we're going to bring our values to the world, we need to have a recognized application, and business is a recognized application for us to say, I'm running $1 million company, or I've got, a $250,000 company where I'm serving X amount of people. And if you look at collectively, if we've got 1 million, 2 million, 5 million women all working at that level of satisfaction and success and healthy ways in which to do it, we've changed the tenor of the economy.
Yeah. Wow. Yes.
And so speaking is a huge way that we get to reach our people.
Right.
And to be seen and heard. And it's scary. And it's scary to be that vulnerable, and also to be trying to hide our warts or our wounds or the things that we're afraid of people seeing. Mm-hmm. And so for me, the point is that we go in this sacred circle in the Speakers Club, and we give you a place to tell that story where it can be healed. Mm-hmm. Where you get to know what it is and what it's done for you, how it's empowered you, so you get to reclaim it and reframe it. And then you get
reclaim and reframe. Woo! That's like a bumper sticker.
It is. But that's what it's going to take for us to be able to be powerful enough to stand in front of people and say, I have a message that's worthy of your attention. Mm-hmm. Is because we need to be able to take those parts of ourselves that have been put down, have been mocked, have been shamed, have been criticized, and we get to use them as part of our strengthening process.
Yeah. Wow. See, I told you people, she's a great speaker. Great work. Amazing. Just work. And so now I want to talk about your drumming.
Yes.
Because so do you consider yourself, do you call yourself a healer? Do you call yourself, well, you said you're trying not to use transformational coach anymore.
Right.
Do you consider yourself a shaman?
No, I mean, I've known real shamans, and I'm tender about that. You know?
Okay. Just curious of where that, I don't know that much about your drumming and your background, your tradition.
I was at Heartwood Institute back in 1986, and I was introduced to the Arapaho Cheyenne ways.
Mm-hmm.
In that, they have a water drum they bring into the lodges and into the peyote medicines and stuff like that. And the drum just took over my heart. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I've come home. And so in that time, I then decided that I needed to be able to have access to a drum. And so I taught myself how to make a drum. And then I started to teach other people how to make drums, from the point of the sacred art of trance drumming really changes how you can access the unconscious. Mm-hmm. Get out of the conscious mind, get out of the way, and tap into this much larger, expansive universe that is just full of information and that you can bring in and taps you into a higher sense of self. And so that's always been like my objective in terms of the drumming, is to give women, I do work with men in the drumming circles, but mostly women, the very indigenous, simple tool of a drum that actually, when you're tapping on it and you're tapping into the heartbeat of Mother Earth, you come back home to self. It's one of the quickest, fastest way to get realigned to your own grounding.
I love it. I love drumming. I drum too. And although my drumming is more based on doumbek and percussion, and I have my beautiful drum. I have a really nice big frame drum that I just love. And I love drumming for trance and dance and sound healing.
Yeah. And all of it matters, right? Because it's the vibration and the heartbeat and the, so when we, not so much here in Portland yet, but when we did drumming circles down in Eureka when I lived there, a couple of times a month, and we had all kinds of djembes and handhelds and rattles and flutes, and we would just do whatever called in spirit, and lived in that, and it's beautiful. I mean, so I focus on the handheld because that's a little bit my realm. I don't do the djembe so much. My partner did at the time, but it's all the same. It's a rhythm, it's a harmony, it's a connection, and I believe that we need that music and we need those rhythms to balance us out against this crazy world.
Amen to that. Yeah. We got to move, we got to play, we got to sing, we got to do it, we got to move it. So good. So now, do you incorporate your drumming into your coaching?
I do, because I think it's like I'm asking somebody to step into their big dream. I want them to get out of their conscious mind and their ego mind. And so I will drum for them and to get them to drop into that place of really finding another layer to their genius, to their strengths, to their power. Voice, like I said at the beginning of this, there's a voice in there that wants to come out, and using the drum is a really not a great way to get people to drop down into where that voice really can be heard.
So good. Yeah, I love that you combine all that too. I think that's really important when we have different tools that help us access or help our clients access what they need, where they need to go, and what they need to find. It's good. So tell me what I have two questions for you. What do you do for yourself to take care of yourself?
I meditate daily. That's
Mhm.
absolutely required. I can go 3 days without meditating, and then after that, I'm a hot mess. Well,
Okay.
I need to meditate. Right now, I'm a water baby. I'm on the river with dragon boating, and I get my canoe out, and I'm swimming. And so I'm trying to basically get physically active so that I can, kind of do some dropping of the energy and get the endorphins up and running and be strong in my body, because I've got a long journey ahead. And if I'm not taking care of my physical self, I'm not going to be able to be mentally or energetically available to serve at the level I really want to be serving right now. So playing like that and doing all kinds of, music. Went to the symphony in the park last week, and I love stuff like that. And then, like I said, to Women's Land this last weekend, and out camping. I'm just trying to find a time off the grid in quiet time, so that I'm there's just too much electronics in my life, and I let it take over. So I'm trying to kind of step away to where it won't work, even if I want to. It won't.
Off the grid. That's very cool.
Yeah.
It's really great to hear you say all those things, because it's easy to get caught up, and I'm guilty of that myself. Guilty of being on this computer every day and not taking enough downtime. But that is going to change soon.
Yeah, well, you're heading in the direction of all that.
I am. Lots of changes going on here. So what on this journey, I know you said it's taken you a while to find this particular path, but what other obstacles have you come across as a woman entrepreneur?
There's a lot of damn shit going on.
Yep.
I think firstly, I've always worked outside of the realm of what would be considered the normal way. I've always been kind of radical that way. So
thank you.
Trying to come into figuring out how I can actually work in a way that allows me to be totally self-sufficient and get plugged in has been a bit of a challenge, because I've tried all kinds of things to kind of learn systems from other people and learn things that they've done that succeed. And that's all really, really valuable. But when the day is done, my heart needs to be in line with it, and it needs to be something I can actually do. So there's a lot about the modern entrepreneur, between the computer expertise and the marketing, all the marketing stuff and the financial stuff and the what the charge stuff and the staying connected, sending out emails. The biggest turnaround I had this year, thanks to a friend of mine who has been editing my work, is that my ability to write has really shifted. And that's always been kind of a bit of a pain in the ass, because I'm dyslexic. And I am a great speaker. And the reason I'm a great speaker is because I will speak before I will write. And so I can speak, but writing it down has been quite the journey since I moved to Portland. So that's been a really nice turn for me to be able to take my ideas and actually have them make sense on paper.
Nice.
And between the spelling and the dyslexia and the English and the oh shit. So a high level of frustration with some of these things and needing to keep going anyway. And so constantly looking at how to take care of myself in that, stepping back, asking.
Well, congratulations on all that. Your continuing self-education is so important as we continue to expand and live every day. We're never done. There's always more, and that's exciting, and it can be exciting.
Well, my best bumper sticker is, there's no there. So when I get there, it's like, there's no there.
Right. Yeah, there's no there. That's really good. All right. And that's a great note to end on. People, what do you think? There's no there. Enjoy the journey. So
Yes.
good.
Yeah.
So
And
any
the process of the journey, right? I
right.
think a lot of people think that they have to be in pain or struggling, you know, and then that their happiness is going to come at another time. And I'm an advocate for what would make my heart sing right now. What is the job I'm willing to do that would help me feel happy right now? And that's what I'm sticking to, because I do meet the challenges. I am a seeker. I'm always learning, and there's struggles within that learning, but I'm really in favor of asking the question, what makes my heart sing right now?
Good question. Really good question. I've been thinking a lot about pleasure lately, and how we don't give ourselves enough time for pleasure, you know, and pleasure on any level.
Right.
It could be physical, it could be spiritual, it could be emotional, it could be like outdoor activities, like you said, going out on the boat or on the water or whatever. It's like sometimes we just don't let ourselves feel that enjoyment, that love, the joy of life.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's,
well, you know, in that chaos and the scheduling that we go through, you know, often it's like, well, I can't take time for that. It's like, well, if not now, then when? I mean, that's at the end of this road that is so important that you're going to sacrifice your mental health, your emotional health, your spiritual health to do it. Yes, we need to pay our rent and we need to do it, but it's been my observation, and maybe it's not everybody's, but if I'm not physically, mentally, emotionally healthy, it don't matter how much money I got in the bank.
That's right. Yep.
And I want money in the bank, by the way.
True that. Yeah. I want all of that.
I want all of it.
I want it all.
And I want to be healthy on the journey.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And we can have it all.
Yes.
You can.
Absolutely.
You can.
Yes.
All right. Brenda, that was really awesome. Thank you for coming back to see me.
Yes. Thanks for come back and visit you again. I think we hit a whole other level with this conversation. That wasn't the last one.
Yeah, that was really awesome. Really good. I just love hearing you speak. You're very inspiring. And again, doing such great work. And I'm so happy to share you with our Heart and Hustle Land viewers and listeners. And thank you everyone out there for being with us again for another episode with our guest today, Brenda Bryan, and myself, Paulette Rees-Denis. And we will look forward to more of this beautiful journey together with amazing women. And I hope you all go out and make the change you wish to see. And remember, there's no there. Love it. I love it. Okay, Brenda, thank you. Bye, everybody. Mwah.